Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the 1972 GMC Jimmy, Hunter Orange with the black top. You guys probably saw the previous videos. If you didn't, check them out, they're on the channel. The first one was going to go get it, the last one was getting it running. And now this one here is getting the rest of the way roadworthy. So we do a budget lift kit, some brake work, new exhaust, among a slew of other mechanical fixes and whatnot. But yeah, pretty cool truck, and it was fun doing this. So without further ado, more work here on the 72 GMC Jimmy. All right, it's been a productive day on the Jimmy. Back on this one, mechanicals. So I say day, it was kind of 2 days ago and a little bit today, here and there when I have the time. So freshy studs, as you guys can tell, I pounded some of those in, needed it. And if you guys watched the last video, you heard me say it. This thing had no brakes in the back. And well, if you saw the first video, the very first one to go pick it up, you saw that. It had nothing. So now we've got, come on. Now we got some brakes. So all fresh underneath here. I gotta bleed them still and whatnot. Really, it needs drums too. There's some used ones I found lying around. Tried buying new. I kept getting the wrong ones to show up. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Got to figure out a good source for drums. This is all I was able to come up with. So I'll do a little digging. It'd be nice to find some new ones for it, because this one, particularly on this side, is pretty worn down. It's got a bit of a groove in it, but it is better than what it had, well, before all this, because it had nothing. So this should be all good back here. Fuel tank still needs to go in it. That's the next big mechanical thing. Also, I was back here. I did install 2-inch blocks in the back. So the last video I decided on doing just a little small lift in this thing. Guy had the parts lying around. Kind of made the most sense. And so got 2-inch block back here, and also reversal U-bolts, usually the stock ones, which I'm very glad I did this, because once I kind of dug in these more back here, those I can dig one out and show you guys. The U-bolts were they were just very thin in a few areas. They're so rusted out, and so this is nice. It was definitely needed. It's got some fresh U-bolts, and they're stronger this way with it going down and up like that. So just again, 2-inch block. This is from ORD, the reversal U-bolts and ORD top plate here, because before, again, it was down with a spring with a saddle on the bottom. So okay, so back is kind of done. Oh, shocks. I've got a longer set of shocks for it. I think are going to work, because this one is like kind of pulled out now. You can see where it used to be riding at. Well, now we stretched it out that much, and so I'm sure it needs some new shocks. So I've got a set of gently used ones that will go great on it, I believe, and should be pretty close to being just the right length. We'll see. If not, order up a new set. Should stop even better now. And surprisingly, like I said in the last video, it didn't stop back and forward, just the fronts. So rear lift is on. Of course, it means the front is next. I haven't done that yet, so that's tomorrow morning. It's getting dark out here. It's like 9 o'clock. Yeah, I got enough done today. I feel good about it. These, I should say, they are a little shy on the tread. They're still good for a summer or so. You know, them old BFGs, they wear like iron when they get down to the last bit. 33, 10, 5, 15. And this is the size I was looking for this rig, that would basically go on, of course, the stock wheels, which we've got sitting right in front of us right here. And, of course, take our factory stock caps, which were, well, still with the truck. So taller than factory. Basically, it's a tall skinny. That is, I think, the ugliest one too. I'm putting on the back here. I got them for a song and a dance, couldn't turn them down, and the guy can always get this thing on the road and, well, buy some freshies at that point once the guy gets more of the quirks worked out and, you know, all that jazz. So tall skinny BFGs going on it. Should look pretty sweet. I don't know how many times I bleach whited those, because they were, of course, the other way around for all their probably 50,000 miles already on them life, and the white letters were in. So I couldn't bring myself to do it. I had to. White letters always out. That's my style. I know some guys in the comments are going to say, hell yeah. Some guys are going to say, you know, hell no. But that's the way it is. Everybody has their own thing. Chocolate and vanilla. Yeah, strawberry ice cream too. And I am a white letters out guy. I just like the look, especially BFGs. They got the best font. It just has that classic look. So I had to flip around and probably added a good 2 or 3 hours worth of bleach whiting and tire scrubbing to my day, but it's worth it in the end, right? But yeah, I think this one was the best on tread. It's still, yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic here. Hey, they were well priced, and this tire size is pretty hard to find used. Not a lot of guys run them. You basically have to buy new, and so new, they're quite spendy, and we've got a set on this old girl for well, a couple bucks and some elbow grease, so I'm happy about that. Okay, I'm gonna get these rears mounted up. All right, there we go. Sitting back on, well, 2 of its feet. It's exciting. It is, well, I think it's exciting more than anything just because it's not on jack stands, or at least the back isn't. I do like this look. It's not my favorite, but I mean, I'm usually mags and, you know, fat wide tires, but this looks good too. It does, and it has its place, and is very popular on the scene of these trucks right now. So most guys probably going, hey, 2 thumbs up for this. So that's cool. And the truth of it, at the end of the day, is they always just need at least a little bit of a lift. I mean, it looks so much better than it did just because it has a little more altitude, and which just kind of adds some attitude. It makes them look kind of tougher, and just kind of gives it kind of that grr, you know, that tough truck factor. When they're stock height, they just look so, I don't know, docile and kind of puny, really, you know. So even look at this, just a 2-inch lift in the back. It's like, oh, this is kind of a little jacked up Blazer, you know. It is. So yeah, that is what's cool. That's probably why I'm excited right now. It's because the thing has got, well, it's got its lift for half of it. So enough of that. Tomorrow is the front. I'm excited to show you guys what I got cooking for that. And at the end of the day is going to be a, well, small lift on a budget. A great way to do it. I'll show you guys more on that tomorrow. All right, so it's the next morning here. Got a peek of our rear lift and tire fitment there in the daylight. Looks pretty darn good. Other side, we can kind of see it better. Yeah, there's our treads. Can't even call them half treads. There's our low treads. Looking good. Okay, as I said last night, it's the front. Time for the front. So, going down, we're going to do a little bit of history here, or some facts, put it that way, on these trucks. So this right here, this front 2-leaf leaf spring is what was standard on all 4-wheel drive 67 to 72. There's some slight differences in the shackles and kind of the setup back here in the 67, 68 trucks, but this for the most part is what you typically always see on a stock 67 to 72 4-wheel drive. So you have a 72 Blazer here, excuse me, GMC Jimmy, and that's what it's got. It's just got the base, the front suspension. Now, optional was a heavy front leaf. This was optional on half tons, Blazers, Suburbans, 3/4 ton pickups, and, you know, basically all of them. So the heavy front leaf had 1 more leaf in the pack for a total of 3. And those trucks typically sat about 1 inch higher in the front versus just the 2-leaf here. So factory, there were trucks that kind of came with a small lift per se, and that was ones with the heavy front leaf. And of course, most all the time they were, and of course every single time they're usually always paired with the heavy rear leaf. So you do see Blazers that have, well, factory heavy front suspension, heavy front leaves. So this is what we're gonna do. I've got a set of heavy front leaves, 3 leaves, that are off of a K20 that Chelsea and I parted out a couple years ago. It's a real rough one from the coast that had a tree fall on it. And here's one of those springs in the flesh. So this is a 2-leaf. I took off the passenger side, and this is a 3-leaf. They'll be replacing it. So it's just 1 more leaf, but they're pretty thick. And so, of course, you're getting that much more lift. But the truth of it, most of it comes from just the fact that this spring won't sit as, you know, reversed arch. You guys just saw what we're looking at there with that 2-leaf. It was like, you know, upside down and basically reverse arch and worn out too. I got to say, these front springs are pretty worn, which was not helping at all. And these are actually in pretty good shape. I remember the truck I took these off of, it sat pretty proud still in the front versus a worn out, you know, base leaf, you know, 2-leaf truck that's had a worn winch bumper on the front of it, weighing it down all these years, and, you know, bounced around and surely lived a hard life. So we're already getting a little bit of lift by putting these in there, and we're getting the rest of the, let's just call that at least 1 inch. We're getting the rest of the lift from these. This is Off-Road Designs Zero Rate. Now, you guys in the comments, calm down. You guys getting your keyboards already. You can't put blocks in the... Calm down, calm down. It's not a block. It is spring pack. So here is the 3-leaf installed on the other side. Look how much more flat it sits. And it's bound to go up just a little bit and have a little more arch to it. And installed, of course, with that Zero Rate there at the bottom of the pack. And again, I'm not calling it a block because it ain't one. It is part of the leaf pack. It bolts in. The bolt runs through it. It essentially is the same as what an overload spring would be, but of course provides Zero Rate added to the leaf. That's where the name comes from, because it doesn't extend past just the basically area where it mounts up to the axle. So they're a very safe and effective way to lift or level a truck that you need, and just side to side, front to back, or if you need 1 inch of lift, all 4. So of course we did 2-inch blocks in the back. And now I'm putting heavy duty 3-leaf fronts paired with this 1-inch Off-Road Designs. We're going to be lifting this right around 2 inches in the front. So 2-inch lift on a budget. These are also real handy because they allow a guy to, and are commonly used for, I should say, move the axle either 1/2 inch, or excuse me, 1 inch or a full 1.5 inches. And they're real handy for that too. So that is a great use of them as well. We don't need to do that though. We just need 1 inch of lift. So that's what they're doing. Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to show you guys the springs kind of compared to each other and these. Oh, the bugger is when doing these with factory springs, the factory spring, the pin or the bolt holding the pack together is just a 5/16 bolt. And this of course is a 3/8 bolt here that is more commonly used, like on the rear. Even the rear of these springs are all 3/8 bolts. And most well, aftermarket leaf springs are all 3/8. Just these factory fronts, so that small 5/16. So you've got to drill, which is just seems to be dang near impossible, drill out the leaf pack. And what I do is I just pop that pin out of there, put it up in the vise, and I got a few real sharp carbide bits. And it takes a little bit. It takes about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes at least, and hog out the whole 2 3/8 and then install this, you know, through there. That's the only bugger. When there's any other kind of leaf spring, aftermarket, rear, whatever it be, you don't have to do that. But just on these factory fronts, got that small pin. So that's the only bugger about them. You got to size them up to the 3/8, but it's worth it. So, okay, I'm gonna get this one installed on the bottom of this leaf spring and get it put on the other side. Get this thing sitting back on all 4 tires. All right, made some progress today. So here's the other side. Spring is in place. Oh, there's a reminder. Gonna torque these down. 150 foot-pounds. Yeah, so here we go. You can see that this is such a small minimal lift. The drag link here, the steering box to the axle, is still a very acceptable angle. And I do have a feeling that I'm going to have to be adjusting that to get the steering wheel straight again. But it wasn't straight before, I don't believe. I could be mixing it up. Might have to adjust that. I started soaking the threads. It has this coupler right here to make that a little bit easier of a task. I was expecting there to be a bunch of play in both those joints. I was just going to, if there was any play, just remove it and just buy a new setup, you know, 2 ends in the sleeve. But it's really tight still, so we're gonna just rock what it's got. Might kind of pressure wash this down in here and whatnot. Steering box is kind of grody and whatnot, but it doesn't appear to be leaking. Maybe the crustiness is holding the fluid in. Sometimes it happens, you start pressure washing the stuff and oh look, it leaks now. Well, because the outer layer of crust was the outer gasket. Yeah, so small, well, this is the last side. The rear lift installed, the other side of the front installed, and this side installed. So you see it there in place. 3 leaves with Zero Rate, and here is the other side. Come back to this. We got other stuff going on. been a busy day. There it is. That's our after. You can see it's not like jacked up to the moon, but it's definitely not stock. So again, we're sitting on 33-inch tall tires there, 33 10.5s. 10.5 wide tire, so skinny. Not super wide. Not a whole lot of tread, but hey, it looks pretty good. Gotta love white letters out. BFGs always looks nice, has that classic look. Looks like it's been like this for a long time. So obviously hubcaps installed as well too. That was kind of the big reason why I did all this, is the truck had its original hubcaps, well, 3 of them, and the original wheels. So this kind of made the most sense to me to go for this look because it was present. And so took the hubcaps and cleaned and scrubbed the original ones for these here. I mean, these are all beat up as can be. These are chrome plated brass, so they're really soft. They dent really easily, which these are kind of showing that they've been dented a time or two in the last 50 years. It's all beat up. One of them's non-existent. Who knows what happens to that? What happened to that one? But hey, this looks kind of cool and kind of fitting the rest of the truck. The truck's got bruises and dents and rust and everything. This one's kind of all scratched up. But I've got a 4th one in very similar shape on the way to match for the rear of GMC. So she'll be wearing all of her original caps. Seat is out. I'm getting kind of off topic here. We're talking about suspension, but yeah, okay. I got the seat out. Didn't realize it until I started playing around with it, but they had done this little like makeshift like wood block set up to move the seat back for more leg room, I'm guessing. Andre the Giant was driving this thing, I guess. But they just kind of hacked it in place. It was a bugger to remove because it had nuts and bolts and it was rotted. It's just kind of a mess. So there's our front floors. Rusty as expected, just like the rest of the truck, but seen better, seen worse. Other side actually is a little bit better shape. Plenty of rust though in the corner, and I'm calling up that A-pillar by the kick panel vent there. She's a crusty old girl. It's just the way it goes. It does look like they shoved some, I don't know, some boogers or some bubble gum in these holes, which is probably good. Well, at least it's, I know there isn't bolts broken. No, I can't say that. I cannot say there's not bolts broken off on those, but they shoved some seal in there, so I gotta pick all this sealing out. I'm gonna put the seat back in. I'm gonna put it in its normal spot, just where it's supposed to go. But I just kind of wanted to get a good kind of view of this and you know, show pictures of this. So we'll be selling this thing, so anybody asking, I've got pictures of the whole floor, what it looks like. And I've got some, again, as I said in the last video, some better used black carpet that's not that nice, but a lot nicer than what this truck had to go in it. So used carpet, and put the seat back in where it's supposed to go, and that one back in where it normally goes. That one wasn't played with, but yeah, I've been playing around a little bit in here. Oh, did a bunch of the declutter the wiring. I got to remove this trailer brake controller. It's a juice one. It's plumbed into the brakes themselves, so I'm gonna try to tackle that first out there before playing in here. But this is my power wire from HDI. I got to run better, but did a lot of wiring declutter. Got that janky stereo out of there and all the extra wires it had running for speakers and tweeters and whatever the heck else it had going on. So a few things to be crossed off this list. We're getting there. We've got rear brakes. We'll go over that later. It's hard to concentrate when I've been rolling around the concrete all day. The sun's beating in my eyes. I'm looking at the camera, also looking at it in the background, and yeah, we'll go over the list later. Some of that stuff is going to be crossed off, and some of the stuff still to do. And some of the stuff I'm going to do today. I'm not done yet. We're kicking butt. We're just going to keep the progress rolling. So, interior, getting kind of cleaned up, getting ready to put used carpet and seats back in it. You guys seen the look of the wheels and tires and the lift over there, but back to the lift itself. So you can see exactly, explains it best here. Stock shocks, you can see the fresh blue that's kind of showing. That's how much it stretched them out, and they don't have much farther they can stretch. They kind of put the front ones, you know, kind of on the end of their travel. And as we can see, yeah, needs to be replaced. The back ones weren't so bad too, but the length is kind of goofed up. So I've got some just Monroes coming that are supposedly an inch, a little bit over an inch longer in stock. So they're just about right for what we got going on here, and as close as I could get. It was just over the counter. I had these from a Blazer that had a 4-inch lift on it that I took off, you know, sitting around years ago, but there's a little bit too long. So we're going to be a little bit too long here, just a smidgen too short with the newer, longer than that shock. So all should be well. We'll have some new shocks on it too. Yeah, you see brake lines, plenty of length. I mean, 4-inch on a Blazer is where you start to stretch these out a little bit. 6-inch, you have to replace those. 6-inch, you guys start having to play with the drive lines on a Blazer. And again, of course, brake lines. And anything bigger than that, you're doing anything bigger than a 2, you're doing a steering arm and this and that. So kind of nice thing about doing a small lift like this, regardless of the way we did it, or with just a 2-inch spring, which is essentially going to get it to sit right in the neighborhood of here, maybe a little bit higher than this. You don't got to do a whole bunch more work than just the springs and the shocks. That's pretty much it. And just readjust this or replace this, where, you know, again, a 4 and 6-inch, you're doing steering arm or crossover steering, you're doing braided longer lines, you're doing drive lines, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, longer e-brake cables. And yeah, this one, the rear e-brake cables still stretch and fit with just a 2-inch. So nice, just a little lift kit, less involved, which is kind of just par for the course for any vehicle. But yeah, okay, so I got to torque these front and back, and new shocks tomorrow. What else is going on here? Trying to run over everything that's oh yeah, empty out the back. So I removed some janky exhaust hangers in the back half of the exhaust, just to the mufflers right here. We're gonna have a new exhaust ran, but I've got to get the fuel tank in place, and we've got transmission fluid to change and service. I'm going to change the oil again. Had fresh oil in it when I first started it up there. The previous owner who'd been playing with it had just changed that and you know, did everything, but I ran into all those lifter and top end kind of little issues. I ran a bunch of sea foam and, you know, kind of engine oil additives in it, so the oil is like a milkshake. That means it's doing its thing, because it's that sea foam and stuff kind of helped clean and clear it out. So gonna change the oil again and service the trans, pop that tank up in there, man, get those shocks tomorrow. Oh, and of course exhaust, put the seats, cart back in it, and we're getting there. There's another one somewhere, I can hear it. Ah, yeah, cool. Getting a bit of a show here as a guy works on the crusty Jimmy. Okay, so engine oil changed. I told myself, as we always do, I'm gonna empty this oil out and not make a mess, not spill any. I didn't spill any. I didn't spill any oil at all when I was emptying it out. Took the filter off, didn't spill any there either. I somehow managed to spill half a quart all over the engine and onto the ground when I was adding the oil. I let my guard down and counted it as a success of making no messes, and I made a big mess. It's the way it goes. So anyways, engine oil is changed, transmission pan dropped, and I think it's been a long time since someone's been in here. Turbo 350s, it always looks dirty in the pan. I've never pulled one off and had it not be grimy and grody, but yep, just got a little layer of gunk in there. The cork gasket was like petrified. Is on there real good, but doesn't smell burnt, and the fluid was nice and red and pink. Just a big old layer of gunk in the pan. Get this cleaned up and get the pan back on, fill her back full of transmission fluid. Hopefully not spill a bunch of that on the ground as well, but you know, if we do, we do at this point. All right, so it's that age-old saying about, you know, life hands you lemons, you make lemonade or whatever. So normally this gear oil bucket is too tall to fit underneath this truck, but because of some advancements over time, oh yeah, we can get this way closer in there and I'll have to, you know, be stretching the hose out and not making it. So yeah, if there is a plus to it, there it is. I mean, that's the thing about a rusty truck. Surely they would be better if they weren't so rusty, but they do have a level of character to them that can be kind of unique, or in some ways just at least comical, let's put it that way. You can get a laugh out of a rusty old Chevy. All right, it's like 9 o'clock, getting dark on a guy, but made pretty good progress today. Pretty happy with all this. Really wanted to get that tank in, but that's first thing in the morning, and that's all right. I only made a little bit more of a mess finishing up the oil and trans fluid service, because I also did the transfer case and drained it, and it made a bit of a mess. But yeah, we've got fresh fluids throughout, so that's pretty cool. So that can be checked off the list. Yeah, I gotta empty my swamp bucket there of mixed lubricants into the waste oil out back, put away a few tools, and call it a night. No, you know what? I was just thinking about this. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm annoyed with myself for not getting that in. See, I'm being hard on myself. I want to get one more thing done. So, I kind of already started on it. Didn't show it, but this rear bumper had like this boogered on welded trailer plug deal. There's a bunch of spaghetti wiring coming to it. I cut that off. I need to straighten this out. It's kind of like pulled on or something. And we got remnants of what used to be a bumper sticker and just kind of cloudy chrome back here. Bumper really, I mean, all things considering, is not that bad a shape compared to the rest of the truck. So I might try to fix that little owie, get that bent back up a little bit too. But I'm gonna finish the night out here in the dark with, well, of course I'll preserve that because that's cool. Scrubbing this rear chrome bumper, making it look better. Some SOS pads. Yeah, that's a good product to finish the day. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I lied. All right, so I lied. I don't have any more SOS pads, so I'm not doing that tonight either. But I guess I just need to know when to call it quits. So add that to the list of things to do tomorrow. All right, so it's next morning here on the Jimmy, and it's been quite productive and a little bit windy, so I apologize if it's goofing up the sound. I'll try to make this short and sweet. New, longer shocks in place on all four corners. This is ready, basically, that's ready to go on. Need to get that on there. Yeah, took the interior out. It was just kind of crammed in the back. And I put that used carpet in I was talking about. Now, we ain't trying to fool nobody here. It is what it is. I'm not hiding nothing. Leaving it loose. People can lift it up and see what's going on there. This is not, you know, trying to hide nothing or change the fact of what it is. It's just a bit better rug that was in it, because what was in it was just literally crumbling apart. And really, this carpet itself isn't that nice either. It's kind of poor fitting. It's just a cheap 90s replacement. But it looks okay in here. Seats are in place. Gotta love that. Factory console. I got the big dent in the door out for the most part, on the passenger side over there. I got the door latch working. It wasn't really quite working before. And back here, got this all cleaned up and cleared out. Rear seat is out of it. It's ready to go back in, clean the seat, and I clean and scrub this rear floor back here. And I cleaned up the carpet leveling mats, and I gave that back bumper once over like I was talking about last night. It's quite a bit better. Still gotta straighten that license plate frame out. Yeah, it's starting to be something, or just be the same thing it was, but cleaner and just more respectable. That's what I'm gonna say. It's better. It's just respectable. Let's put it that way. So I made a mess here. I was trying to get this door working. Took a bunch of WD-40 and heating and beating and playing around. That latch is just messed up. It was basically stuck as if the button was just pushed in all the time, so it took a minute to get that freed up. Seat is clean. This is in really good shape. This one is. The foam's in really nice shape. The cover's quite dry though. Like if a guy sat in this for a summer, it would just, you know, basically be ripped and falling apart. But the foam's in good shape, which is nice, and so is the frame. So okay. Oh yeah, see, look, dent be gone. There's still a little one. I'm gonna maybe try to massage it out a little bit more, but look at that. It ain't caved in no more. It's a lot better. So I'm gonna get the seat back in and the tank, which I've been putting off. I gotta get that tank in the back. So that is what's next on the plan and the agenda here. Courtesy of Buddy Miller. Look what just showed up. Never been so excited to get a little piece of junk in the mail. This completes the dent up set. I think this one actually might be a little too nice, actually, to put a couple more dents in it. But she's got all caps now. All the caps. And just like that, it's got its 4th cap. Cool. So now we're getting somewhere. Fuel tank is installed. As you guys can see, I started buffing the paint. It's coming back pretty darn good for the most part. There's a few panels that are not original or old paint, or crappy old paint, I should say, and they're not looking quite as good as the rest of them, but it's looking better than it was. Sport mirrors are on both sides. Excuse the wind, I'm sorry. Rear seat is in place. Carpet leveling mats in place, front and rear. You heard me ramble on about those the last couple videos, saying how it still had them, which is just kind of a cool thing when it comes to finding a Blazer. And there they are installed. It just lays right over the top of the bed floor and makes more of a flat surface for the carpet to be laid on. So a lot of times they're long gone and thrown away. So cool, they were still there. So they're back in place. Front seats again are in. I showed that already. Yeah, no, they're Hugger Orange is coming back pretty good. Some of these panels, so that's pretty cool. Gas tank's in. I'm assuming all is well there. Everything's all hooked up. I just put 5 gallons in it. I need to fire it up, make sure it runs off the tank, and get it loaded up. Let's head to exhaust tomorrow. That's the last big thing, is get the exhaust set on it. The tailgate needs to be gone over. It wasn't the original tailgate to the truck. I started scrubbing on it, kind of washing it, along with the back bumper back here, which I cleaned up, and some other colors started showing, so it looks like it was a medium bronze tailgate, and I'm sure it might not even be a GMC behind that band, but we're not going to worry about that because it doesn't matter. All right, I said it doesn't matter, so maybe it matters, but I'm deciding it doesn't matter. Gonna run over that with the buffer, get it all spit shined up. I think I've got a back glass somewhere, possibly out in the parts pallet at my dad's house where all the trucks right out there. I gotta look. I've got to look, because that's kind of the, well, I mean, it's got lots of rust and dents and all this and that, but it's kind of one of the last big eyesores now. It's that broken glass, and now this dent on this front fender up here, because I got that dent out of the door. It looks, well, for the most part, got most of that dent out of the door. It's just got a little small one now, kind of hanging out there, that I can probably keep working on and popping out. But yeah, that was kind of the big ugly dent. Now it's at our fender, so we'll see if we get kind of that massaged out. I'm gonna keep buffing here tonight, and then I'm gonna get this gas tank skid plate installed. Make sure it runs off that gas tank, take it down the road, make sure all is well there, and I'm not be dropping the tank out of it again. And then once I confirm that's all good, I'm gonna put this gas tank skid plate on it before heading to exhaust tomorrow morning, because this is right in the way of where a guy's gonna be putting exhaust typically. So if this is not in place when they're doing the exhaust, there usually isn't room for it afterwards, because it's right in a nice real estate. It kind of cramps that whole area. So this has got to go on and be in place before exhaust. So, all right, well, it fired right up and it drove on the trailer. I put the skid plate on the back and head off to the exhaust shop right now to drop it off for the appointment tomorrow. Get some new pipes on it. Yeah, it's looking good. All is well. I got some kind of leak. I think it's brake fluid coming from like the master cylinder area. I gotta figure out what's going on there. I noticed when I got up on the trailer, it was dribbling out underneath the hood. It's coming from somewhere there on the master cylinder, but that's okay. We can work with that. Gave the Longhorn a quick wash. It was looking a little sad, and I was off the Jimmy too. There was some just buffing residue and stuff all over it. Just kind of did 2 birds, 1 stone. Washed them both off real quick. Looks good back there. I love the Hugger Orange. It's just too good of a color. My favorite. Well, one of my favorites. It really is hard to pick a favorite. There's so many damn good colors in these trucks. I mean, ochre is one of those ones where a lot of people don't like it at first, and you get an ochre truck, and man, instantly becomes one of your favorites. Hugger orange, again, fantastic. Black, I mean, that's like mythical in the 72. And I've still got to own a good black one yet. The blues, medium blue, dark blue, some of the earlier blues, light blue, you know, dark blue poly. I mean, shit, there's so many there's so many darn good colors on these trucks, factory. I think that was one of the half the reasons that made them so, I don't know, just great. I mean, put in simple terms, I think that GM kind of lost their design, you know, they're good colors, they're tasty colors, especially up in the early 80s. You look at square bodies and almost all of them are like turkey turd tan or brown or gold. That's all you got. When you go back to 72, it was, you know, greens and yellows and all sorts of vibrant colors that just kind of stick in your head, and our eyes are trained to see, you know, and they just look so at home on these trucks. But really, when it comes down to some kinds of funky colors, I mean, medium green and light yellow and ochre. I mean, you paint a new rig that color or one of those colors, and yeah, it's not going to look quite right. It's going to be pretty ugly, but God, it just looks the best in these old trucks. I can talk all day about these trucks. You guys usually hear me do it. That's one of the things I love about them is the colors. And these two right here, ochre and hugger orange, they're up there with me, but they all are. Again, I like them all. Gotta love them. All right, exhaust shop's about 10 miles away. We'll dump this pig off. And yeah, get some new pipes on the line tomorrow. I picked up the Jimmy from exhaust earlier today, and it was super windy out. I had a bunch of crap going on today. I wanted to get some clips of it and show you guys the new exhaust. Didn't really get around to it till now. It's like 9:30 out. It turned out really good. 2 1/4 downpipes off the original ram horn manifolds, and 2 1/4 all the way back. It's got long glass packs there in the middle, and it sounds really good. Did a good job fitting it. See if I can get a little light shined up underneath the skirt and show you guys. Yeah, there's the big old long glass packs, and up over the transfer case, and nice clean new downpipes and everything. And up over the axle, that's kind of handy. See, the oil, the gear oil bucket fits good underneath there. And look, we can just view our exhaust through this handy dandy, you know, peephole we've got going on here in the quarter panel. Nice clearance around the factory gas tank skid plate. Yeah, it looks good, and it sounds really good too. It sounds so much better than it did. I'll see if I can get this camera here perched up on something and fire it up for you guys. Nice and mellow. You still hear it's a V8, not too loud, not too quiet though. I've got a small little leak coming from one of the front manifolds, but it's got giant cracks in it, so it's kind of expected. So I got a ram horn I need to change out, but I kind of already knew that. So yeah, it sounds so much better than it did. It had a million holes in the downpipes that were on it and stuff, and it sounded like a piece of crap before. Now it sounds like a pretty respectable little Jimmy. All right, so it's, well, looking its part, it's sounding its part now, and yeah, the list that was on the window is pretty damn well all crossed off. If it was, you know, still there, of course, it got all wiped off. But all the stuff it said, man, it's done. Except the A274, that was one of the things. Wire up the winch. That hasn't gotten done yet. So, I'd like to do that. The brakes, I mentioned in a clip a little bit before this, that it was leaking when I was loaded up on the trailer to take it to exhaust. And when I got out there, I found out what it was. It was kind of right there by the master cylinder and just made a mess in there. Firewall, and had my uncle out there pressing the brakes, and I saw it's just spewing out one of the lines. It's got a pinhole of rust, and the brake controller going inside, coming from out of the master cylinder. So I already kind of wanted to remove that stuff anyways, and I'm going to now. So just get rid of it and get rid of that line entirely, and just go back to stock. All brake lines and everything. Guy could put a new brake controller on it if he guy wants to, but I mean, that one's 50 years old like the rest of the truck and falling apart. So no surprise. That manifold I just mentioned, should fix that. I got a new one. I think, yeah, I put it in the back of it. A new one. I say new. A better one I put in the back of it. The lights. Yes, lights. The lights don't work. I got to get some lights working on this thing. First to blame, and I removed it because it was bad, the dimmer switch. It was all stuck up and rusty. So get a new one of those and go from there. So if I can get the headlights and the turn signals, side markers, all that stuff working on it. Yeah, and drive it around. Go drive the thing. It'd be nice to go get it out and head up in the hills and go have some fun in it. It's a super cool truck, and yeah, it feels kind of fun. It feels good to bring this one back to life, and it's really got a beating heart now. And yeah, it's alive. So, all right, I'm doing some more stuff tonight and packing up the Longhorn over there for a trip tomorrow. This weekend, in a couple days here, me and Chelsea will get this Jimmy back out and go cruise around in it and show you guys some more clips of it then. All right, it's a couple days later here. Been cruising the Jimmy all morning. Drives great. It tires need to be balanced. I didn't have them balanced when I put them on. They're such low in tread. It really needs new tires. Is what it really needs. They're actually not that bad, but there's a few little shakes and shimmies from the tires. The steering wheel needs to be straightened out. It's about it's like pointing like towards like 10 o'clock, not 12. But there may not be any time for that because I got a guy on his way wanting to buy this thing. So it's how it goes sometimes. You know, you post a few pictures and this and that when you're working on these things, and all of a sudden someone's, you know, in the inbox saying, hey, I really want that, really want that, really want that. Okay. The plan always was to sell this thing, and I thought I'd do a little more to it, but it's ready to be sold. It's a driver. It's a great project for someone, so he's on his way. He came from the Spokane area, which is about 4 hours away, so he's gonna be here the next hour or so. And yeah, I'm gonna check the fluids and make sure just retorque the lug nuts. I need to do that. I did it once. I'll do it a second time here. Yeah, the Jimmy's for sale and quite possibly sold, so hold tight. Well, there's no longer an orange Jimmy sitting right here, and it's because I sold it, which is cool. That was the goal eventually. Happened a little sooner than I thought it would. Guy really liked it. It was the color and just kind of year and vehicle he was after. So I got to apologize. You know, I want to show you guys kind of some more clips of driving around and the exhaust and whatnot, but it just happened to kind of go and happen kind of quick. Had somebody interested in it and got a hold of me for it, and a couple days later it's gone. But I'll make up for it because we're now missing, or there's no longer a 72 GMC Jimmy here on the pad, but we've got a 72 GMC Sierra C1500 that I just picked up. I sold the Jimmy yesterday, and I went and got this last night. I've known this truck for a very long time. Since I was in high school, and so it's a little over 10 years ago. And it's always kind of putted around and been up and down the valley. Well, it was for sale, and I got the chance to buy it last night. So here she is. It has what you guys can see are quite possibly the ugliest wheels ever imaginable on a 67 72 on it. But it runs and it drives. I drove up on the trailer last night. Mostly original paints. Kind of just do a quick walk around. We'll have its own video, of course, soon. Yeah, pretty darn original truck. 350, two-wheel drive, of course, half-ton, 72. And so I'm on the hunt for some wheels. There's some wagons wheels in the back that are also, you know, not that fantastic, but they look much better than this. So gonna get off the trailer and get these wheels off and try to work up some different shoes for it and get it looking a little bit better. But yeah, it's a pretty cool truck. It's got a little finicky little things on it that I'm sure need fixed, and we'll kind of be uncovering them on video. But one 72 GMC, Jimmy that is, put back on the road, and another 72 GMC here, Gold City Trucks, to see some love and be kept on the road. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video on the Jimmy, and more 67 to 72 content soon, and particularly on this truck. I just wanted to close this video with a few before and after shots of the Jimmy. This, of course, here is the before when I first brought it home, and here's the after it here at the end of this video. Nothing really too crazy happened here. Just a bunch of cleaning, small mechanical fixes, kind of all over the truck. And this needs a lot of work to really be a nice truck. But hey, you know, it's not dead sitting there in a bunch of blackberry bushes. The thing's alive again. And it's a respectable driver. Guy can go drive this thing around and enjoy it and have some fun in it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video here on the truck. If you missed the first two, check them out. They're on the channel. I'll leave a link in the description below this one. And yeah, appreciate it, guys. If you guys enjoy the content, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, more 67 to 72 content soon. Thanks again, guys.